Hey, Chris Liepe here with the Recording Revolution with the most efficient way to record vocals. And I've got 3 tips for you. Not all of us have the luxury of having a producer produce us through great vocals. And so the more that we can learn to be our own producer, but also set ourselves up to succeed by eliminating things that can drag us down or take more time or cause us to do more takes than we really need to, the more we can work in that direction, the better. If you'd like even more help with your vocal recording flow and signal chain, click the link below and download my free PDF, the Vocal Recording Cheat Sheet.
Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55.
Here are the 3 tips. And tip number 3 is the most awesome and the most in-depth. So stick around for that one. Tip number 1, get right in front of your computer. Don't be having the mic over here or in another room. Definitely not in another room, but even away so that you're not facing your computer. Set yourself up to be right in front of your screen so that you can interact with it while you're delivering your vocal. If you have a desk that requires you to sit like I do, grab an armless chair, one that's comfortable, but one that allows you to move a little bit and doesn't make noise. So not one that rocks, maybe not one that rolls. And if you've got a standing desk, that's even better. Make sure you take the right precautions to treat around your computer acoustically so that you can sing right into your computer. Now, this first tip is going to become even more apparent as to how important it is as we move on to the other 2 tips. Tip number 2, don't try to record long parts of the song and don't comp. Take small chunks and only worry about saving one take, or not one take, but one track. When we're recording with a producer or whatever, sometimes it makes sense to just, bleed your heart out and do as many good takes in a row and then sit down and comp later. But you're going to save so much time and you're going to be able to make instantaneous, probably better decisions while you're in the moment if you take small chunks and you don't worry about saving a bunch and then revisiting later. Make all those decisions at once and take things in bite-sized chunks. Tip number 3, and here's where it all comes together. This requires that you're doing the other 2 tips to make this workflow inside your DAW work. And this works with any DAW. This is just something that you can do in terms of file management and track management in order to work quickly and hear what you need to hear. It is by far the most efficient way to work. So you get your track set up like you'd like to hear it. And I've done other videos on this channel to that effect. Label it tracking. Now, I'm going to take the chorus of this song and I'm going to take it as far as I can, and I'll probably punch. But I'm not going to punch, per se. Instead, I'm going to move my tracks down to these tracks, which I have set up in a rough mix. Now, you might ask, if you haven't tracked the song yet, how do you know what your rough mix is? Well, you will build it. You'll build like a scratch sort of mix, and then you will tweak as you go through. But I'm going to go ahead and track this section, and you'll see the whole workflow and why it's so cool. This completely eliminates the need to toggle pre and post roll off over and over again when you need to punch. It doesn't require you to choose accurate punches, and it allows you to hear something that you're recording right up the middle and at a particular volume, and then drop it into the mix. And if you have other effects like pitch correction or something that you don't want to necessarily track with, you can hear how it works in that context without having to constantly be messing with your pan and fader knobs. This is so cool. Here we go.
Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55. Oh yeah. Ooh.
So I like all, I think, but this very first part. So I'm going to move it down to my lead vocal track, which is a little bit lower in volume. And I think...
Face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55.
You know what? I want to record this again.
55.
I don't like how I did the 50. I cracked a little bit.
Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face on it. Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive.
Now, I'm going to sing that back half. Don't have to worry about toggling pre-roll on and off. Here's my tracking track, and when I'm happy with it, I move it down to the lead.
I can drive 50. I can drive 55. Oh yeah. Ooh. Can drive 55. Oh yeah. 55.
Don't like that little flip in my voice, so I'm going to save that much.
Can drive 55. Oh yeah. Ooh.
All right, so that workflow is pretty cool because you don't have to toggle pre-roll on and off. Depending on what DAW you're using, you don't have to worry about file overlaps or stuff like that, which Pro Tools deals with that pretty well, but not all of them do. This really becomes a neat workflow hack, or just workflow in general to follow, when we start doing background vocals. Let me show you.
Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55. Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55. Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55. Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive.
mix them in. If I had to redo anything, I could track it up here and then replace.
Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55.
Now, this works really well, but what if you are still experimenting with your arrangement? Well, then create a new track down here. I've got one right here. Let's say we want to do some sort of ad-lib thing.
Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55.
Okay, so there's some neat ideas here. But, that one is going to be on a different track than maybe some of these other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. The cool thing is I get to work with the arrangement as I'm going, but I don't have to deal with the spatial problems of tracking with all these different pans and stuff like that, different pans and effects. So I can bring this one down here to this track, and then I think I'm going to make one more track so I can place all these differently.
Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive.
Okay, so that neat part here, where I'm kind of yelling that I can't drive, that needs to be a group, another group of people. So I'm going to make a couple other tracks down here. I'm going to pre-pan them and bring them down a little bit. And I'll adjust these later in mixing. This is just, I can be creative as I go. Okay, so now I'm going to shout a bunch more times up here on my tracking track and fly them in.
All that jive, I can drive 50.
Okay, I'm kind of a different character every time on those shouts. You also don't have to worry about, I need to record enable this track, or I have 2 record enables. It allows you to work a lot faster when you're not having to mess with your track record and input stuff too.
All that jive, I can drive 50.
Okay, one more. We'll make this one really big.
All that jive, I can drive 55.
It's okay that they're sort of out of time a little bit. I get to hear myself front and center while I'm tracking and hear it in context real easily.
Jive, I can drive 50.
Yeah, those need to come down a little more.
I can drive 55.
Cool. So let's listen to everything with the ad-libs.
Go on and write me up for 125. Post my face, wanted dead or alive. Take my license, all that jive. I can drive 55. Oh, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed my 3 tips for really efficient vocal recording. Again, if you'd like more help with your vocal recordings, click that link below and download my free PDF. This is Chris for The Recording Revolution, and we'll see you for more.